All right, we're getting live now, folks.
Okie dokie. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Public Works Committee meeting. Am I ahead of myself here, Chris?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the Public Works Committee meeting, Tuesday, August 1st at 2:35 p.m. We're using the digital format. Present today is Mayor Derek Slaughter, Councilman Vincent Polizzi. We have Sean Walker from Recreation Department. We have Scott Livermore from Streets and Parks. And of course, we have Chris Black, our IT professional. First item on the agenda is Sean Walker with updates on the pool and the splash pad.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing terrific.
Good, good. Hey, so the update on the pool, I'll start with that first. With the newest pump, filter, and everything put in place at the pump station at the Memorial Pool, things are running very good right now at that pool. I know in previous years we had little problems here and there as far as that pool, but this year there's been no problems whatsoever, and the pool has been running perfect. Attendance has been up and down for a little bit, just a little bit, but now we're starting to see some numbers go up as far as the pool over at Memorial. As the splash pad, little minor things that happened in the beginning, but I'm happy to say that the splash pad is running perfect right now. Multiple people are showing up to enjoy the water features over there. So things are going good on both ends at the pool, but also at the splash pad for the city.
What would you say the record, number of people going to the splash pad? I don't know how many people are aware that it's up and running yet.
Sorry, Sean, if I could just jump in quick, Councilwoman Katz. I was out there with my children and it was packed. I've been out there multiple times actually with my own children. And each time I've been out there, there's been, I don't know, probably between 50 and 50-ish or more kids. It was a lot, and it's the one day I was out there, off and on all day long, and a lot of kids would come and then they would go and another group would come. So I would say it's been extremely steady, especially on nice days that we've been having. So I just want to add that in with my own kids, that the times I've been there, it's been packed. So
I just wondered if the response of the public was, because I think, I was for this project even years ago. I wanted to see something like that. And I think everybody has to understand this is also a perfect venue for for accessibility, and that's, another reason why I wanted to see that done also. No, I was thrilled with that, and also thrilled with the pool, Sean. I think that's great that there's no problems, I mean, let's knock on wood real fast, that it continues that way. How's it making out with Aaron's Ice? How's he doing?
He's doing well. Just like, in the agreement, he has followed up with me every Monday morning with his portion of, his process. I mean, his profits as far as a money order, which is all given to finance on that day. But he's making out well there as far as the pool, but also, just looking to attach him into some other things that we have coming in the future. But like right now with Aaron is very good. And one thing I want to add, Bonnie, with that, as far as that splash pad, we're not just getting kids from Michael Ross, we're getting kids from everywhere coming to that splash pad. So
fantastic.
Yeah. And they did ask, a number of people have said to me, let City Council know that thank you all for approving it. They want a few more. I said they're very, very expensive. We could explore it down the road potentially, but they were very grateful for this one, and they did want me to pass that along. Just about every time I'm there, they say, thank you so much, we love it, and they're enjoying it. So pass that along too.
It's a shame that we don't have the facilities to do it in Newberry. I mean, it would have been great to do it.
Yeah, well, it's possibly. I mean, we're down the line a little bit if we can work some things out. It's a possibility, but take a little bit of planning, but we'll see. We can make
And
something.
that's a great area of the city, and we know there are an awful lot of kids in that area. And, it'd be so great for them to not have to go to the splash pad at the other end of the city. So, and maybe there's funding out there. Maybe there's something that we can go after funding for that, especially now that the state has gone into wanting to do more for recreation.
Right.
So, and maybe we can do that.
Yeah, and we have the Parks and Rec comp plan that we'll be updating. That actually, we had the bids out that just recently closed, so we'll be reviewing those for the consultant. That'll be updating our comp plan for the Parks and Recreation. And to your point, Councilwoman Katz, once the comp plan's updated, then that should hopefully lead to additional funding of what council, administration, the public want to see for our Parks and Recreation upgrades. So, it's hopefully, we'll see additional amenities and grant funding in the not too distant future.
Fantastic. Vince, do you have any questions?
No, but just to add to your point, I think it's absolutely great. Everything's up and running. Again, what you made your comment earlier about just how nice a splash pad is, again, for our youth that may be handicapped or I know we have certain equipment at the pool for ADA accessibility. The splash pad makes things an awful lot more convenient for families that may not be able to travel down to the swimming pool, just to make sure all of our children can, in our community can enjoy refreshing, cool water and have some fun, especially during the summer. I think that's absolutely great. I will just wanted to bring to light the last time we met, Mayor, I think you had said that there were some swim diapers that were donated, I believe. So for any and all listening, if you do have your children that are going to come into the pool or the splash pad and enjoy the facilities, I would just politely ask, for the sake of everyone involved, that you may run them to the restroom before we put them in the water.
and the swim diapers are free. We hand those out. I think we're almost in need. I was just there the other day, Shankar. I think Kim said we're getting sorted to the end of the donation. So, which is good. That means folks are utilizing the swim diapers on their children that we've provided. So we're grateful for the donation.
Hey, Vince, we don't talk about it like that, Vince. We don't want to jinx ourselves.
I'm knocking on wood.
Yeah.
But good to know. Nope. Regarding the swimming pool, the splash pad, I'm just so happy to see that they're open, that our community is able to enjoy it. It's one of those things that really helps us to elevate the quality of life for our residents here within our community. So I'm very happy for that. I have nothing more, Councilwoman. Thank you.
One thing I do have to say, we are a lucky community because we have enough lifeguards, which when you hear the TV that everybody is so short on lifeguards that they can't even operate in some places. So I think we should commend our community, and the people that are in charge of swimming are making sure that we do have people that are taking the test and that we have, plethora of them. Because you don't at times realize how important that is to even keep your facilities open. So I, for one, want to thank the community for doing that and keeping, people aware of and going after the tests. So, and we are lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. I would echo that. I'm glad you brought that up, Councilwoman Katz, because I couldn't agree more, especially last week and the weeks that have been really, really hot. Our lifeguards, Sean and Lalitha, our lifeguards, Kim, and the whole team, and our summer camp employees being out there in that heat, all day. And Sean and Lalitha did a great job, and Scott and our public works to make sure they have Gatorades and water and staying hydrated. But you're right. A lot of communities had to close their pools, and we were able to keep ours open, and we have a tremendous team. So I echo what you're saying, Councilwoman Katz, and thank them and everything they're doing to make sure our community is able to enjoy our summer camp program and our pool and the splash pad. So
Exactly. Thank you so much. Vince, if you have no other questions or discussions, I want to thank Sean very much for the good job that you're doing. And I know we'll be talking again because you've got a lot of parades and stuff coming up. And Scott, thank you very much. And Mayor, thank you. You're up next, Mayor, though, for the next item.
Can I jump in there real quick, Bonnie, before you move on?
Sure.
So just to touch base on the parks and stuff, we just got done paving about 90% of Shaw Park's walking paths. And then we should finish tomorrow or Thursday on the parking area for the right next to the basketball court. So that is all wrapping up. We're cleaning up as much as we can, getting new walking trails for the people to walk around on. And then the tennis nets they're up. Yesterday we put them up, finished that all up, so they are open for use as well.
Scott, we did also approve of lighting, didn't we? For there?
No, we didn't.
No,
Nope.
we didn't. Okay, I thought, okay, thinking of something else then. Because I don't even think, I don't know if there's even availability for that, come to think of it. But so that's good to know that the paving is being done, because you want it paved so there's no dirt and stuff going into the splash pad.
And the whole walking trail around the park, actually as well, Councilwoman Katz, is getting paved. Prior to the end of August, we'll bring to you, we were able to solidify a donation. And so we're gonna, at the end of the August council meeting, highlight that was able to support some of the walking trail. So we appreciate that as well.
Fantastic. Boy, we're moving along in the parks, aren't we? Which is great. It's about time, in so many different areas that, we get people out and moving in the parks. And this is what we want. We want to see our population using them, because we do have beautiful parks. We really do. And the availability of what's in the parks. So, okay, next item on the agenda is resolution authorizing a consultant agreement between City of Williamsport and Larson Design Group. Mayor, this is yours also.
Sure, yes. Good afternoon again, Councilwoman Katz, Councilman Pelizzi. This is for just interim engineering services. This is very similar to what we did back in January 2020 for a short period of time before John Sander came on board. Essentially the exact same agreement. This is if we need any engineering services over the next few weeks here, Larson would be able to fill in if we need plan review or stormwater, anything that a PE would be needed, a professional engineer. Larson could handle that here on an as-needed basis with this agreement. I'll add to that, we are conducting interviews right now for the engineering position. We had actually an interview today, and so we are optimistic that will be filled here within the next few weeks or so. I don't want to put an exact time frame on it, but we're hopeful with that. And so, with having said that, this interim agreement right here, knock on wood, nothing, I'm very appreciative of Larson, but to have it back in house, this agreement then wouldn't be needed. But we're thankful to Larson that they have agreed to fill in here in the interim if needed.
Thank you, Mayor. Vince? Any questions?
No, I do have one question, and maybe you could give me an answer. I've already received a couple inquiries as far as who the point of contact then would be for the city regarding the communication process with the levy project now that Mr. Sanders is not there. Mary,
Yep.
are you able to let us know who that would be?
Sure. So right now in the interim, either myself or Scott Livermore would be that contact. We just had a big levy call last week or the week before. I forget, it's all running together. And John went to WSP, which used to be Wood. So in theory, John's still working on the levy. So it worked as far as this from a city standpoint, that sort of worked in our favor, given his historical knowledge with the levy and Woods as well. So, but anyway, to answer your question, Councilman, it would either be myself or Scott until we have this position filled. We're also working very closely with the county So either Shannon Rossman, or Matt McDermott over there, they've been involved extensively with the levy as well. So we're all, the county, city, working hand in hand on a levy project, so.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Bonnie, I have no more questions.
Okay, Mayor, I know that John had a lot of things in the fire going, okay, between streets and everything else. Hopefully you get somebody hired as soon as possible from the standpoint of, I know there were a lot of projects that were, that he was working on. I mean, he was the Energizer Bunny, what can I tell you? And
I agree.
and it's, he's going to be missed tremendously because of what he did. I mean, my God, the man never sat still. But I don't want to lose momentum in some of the projects, but I'm not even aware of some of these projects that I know he was doing. And are you and Scott keeping up with what that was?
Yep. Yep. So we have John, as you know, was very organized. He had all of his, everything was digital, everything's organized. He gave us all of his files. I met with John, so did Scott. We met with him before he departed. We went over everything. So everything is in place. And as you said, we're hopeful to have an engineer hired very, very soon. So there'll just be a short period of time here, and then they can just pick up where John left off. We, like I said, we've had quality individuals apply, which we're excited about. And so I don't think you're going to see much of a lapse here as far as the projects, particularly, the time period right now. August is, somewhat of a down month. We sort of pause obviously for Little League. But we do have, we're hopeful that's going to be filled soon. And we're in a good spot to keep the projects flowing along. So I don't think we'll lose any momentum on any of the projects we have ongoing.
Well, like I said, looking forward to meeting the new engineer, and hopefully it comes through, and tell Wood to keep their hands off of him or her. It's just one of those things that, we've gone through this when, we lost engineers over the piece, time, and it's a difficult thing. It really is. And we know Larson is only there to sign the plans and things like that. They don't oversee the projects. And, you need somebody that's going to oversee at times and responsible for that. So I trust Scott tremendously with his knowledge and everything. So I'm happy to hear that he'll be working until the engineer comes on board. But as you well know, it's also, it's hard for somebody to do triple duty. Okay. And so hopefully it's sooner than later.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. And again, Larson Design has been working so many things with the city over, my gosh, I think ever since I've been on council, that's, with Larson, they're it's an incredible company, and they've done a lot for us. So we have to thank them for that. Other than that, we'll go on to the next item on the agenda, which is number 3. And Mayor, this is yours, I think. Okay, because this came down, it wasn't even, I wasn't given a name on it. Amendment to Resolution 9617, awarding levy pumps, station design.
Yeah, this was just a minor one. And I appreciate council for adding this here, so it didn't get bumped to the end of August. This was already approved, but as we allocated money to the levy, and we're up against that right now. So this actually went over. So the levy, the money that from ARPA that we allocated to the levy, we've used, which is a good thing because we've made a lot of progress with the levy. So when we were looking at it, talked to Scott, talked to Tracy, and talked to John prior to his departing. So the amendment to this simply is there's no money amendment. It's just an account from ARPA. We're amending it, saying that funding is not coming from ARPA. We're reallocating it. It's going to come from Act 13. So the $60,000 from the original resolution that council already approved will not be coming out of ARPA. It'll be coming out of Act 13. So that's just the one slight amendment to that resolution.
Okay. Vince, do you have any questions?
No, my mind's already starting to work on, obviously, we have to have the ARPA funds allocated by the, so by the end of 2024 or by the beginning, by the end? Okay,
December 31st of 24. And we were working on some things earlier too, to see what's left over here and there to make sure. I was sharing some emails back and forth with Councilman Yoder as well. To make sure we have things, what's left over, the council administration, we work together to make sure it's allocated where we want it to be allocated. We definitely don't want to give any back, say it that way.
yeah, I think that'll free up potentially about $60,000, is that right?
Well,
For
this is
ARPA
the levy line item, so we pretty much expended the levy. So that's why we're going here to do this out of Act 13. So
Okay,
yeah, we've been obviously doing a lot of work with the levy, so this was going to push us over. Instead of taking more out of ARPA, we had it in Act 13. So talking to John, talking to Scott, talking to Tracy, they said, let's not allocate more from ARPA. We have it in Act 13. Let's just use that. But the original resolution says ARPA, so we're just, that's the amendment, just to say Act 13.
understood. Thank you.
Are they starting work on the design? Are they doing,
Yeah, this one here, right, was the design for the levee pump, and that's, yes, they're done. They have done that. That's completed. There's video of all the pipes throughout the entire levee system. A lot of moving parts. The 8 million that we got in earmarks. We're working through that with the county right now, and PEMA and FEMA. There's the Army Corps of Engineers. So there's a lot happening at the moment that is just, it's good news. But there's also some that's going to take, unfortunately, a little more time as the engineers are looking at that from all the various alphabet soup of agencies. It's not all just, we can't just snap our fingers and be done. Some of it's a little more higher level engineering and things of that nature. So, but yeah, we're working through all that at the moment. And but this one here, the design for these 3 pump stations has been completed.
okay, that's been completed, and then they'll start working on it then.
Yep. Which
I think everybody is looking forward to that, since they have to be replaced, especially the one that is in really bad shape. I think the thing that's frustrating with this, we all say that government works so slowly. This has been working slowly for like 12 years before we even hit the dirt with the shovel. And, we spent more money on engineering and government studies than we have in trying to repair anything. And I think that's the most frustrating thing with that, because between the county and the city, we've spent millions on this. And we have to get this done in order to, for the businesses that are especially on Reach Road and other areas that were certified. And, I know everything's fine because we keep on, if they know that we're doing things and keeping the ball moving, that it doesn't bother, it doesn't interfere with their insurance companies. But, like anything else, you start, hearing that clock go tick, tick, tick. And it's like, how much longer is this going to take? So I'm happy to hear at least we're going to start doing some of the pumps, because there's so many other things. And, the one that's in by Newberry, by Bowman Field there, and that area that we were discussing for how long, that has to be repaired. And we still don't have, what we have to do with the height of the levee in that one area. So, we have all that on our plate, and hopefully they're going after funding, and that's the one thing that, I think we're all hoping for.
Right.
So.
And we are, yes. Like I said, we got Congressman Keller's, that, and then I've been working very closely with Congressman Muser, as Congressman Pelosi knows. We've been working very closely with his office, as well as Senators Casey and Fetterman. So we're definitely chasing down funding from every different angle.
I know, we have to we have to open our mouths loud and wide because every city in the country is going after funding for their levies. And we know that because it's a mandate through, the government. But anyhow, I'm happy to hear that that's going and at least how much money is left in Act 13? Do we know?
We could get it. I don't know if Scott has a ballpark off the top of his head. We could get that to you though. We still have a lot left in, I won't say a lot, but relatively speaking, Scott, do you know off top?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I still know we still have the pavement contract. We gotta make sure there's stuff in there for that, but we have enough to get us through the year, but I don't have a number off the top of my head.
We can get that to you.
Okay,
There's
fantastic.
plenty in there. Yeah.
Good. Okay, fantastic. Okay, the next item on the agenda, thank you very much, Mayor and Scott. The next item on the agenda is resolution to purchase information technology. And this is Chris Black. You are up.
Thank you. The description in the agenda is a little misleading. It should say information technology documentation system.
I see that on the resolution.
Yeah,
I do see that.
when I came on a little less than 2 years ago, documentation, passwords, whatever you want is scattered all over the place. We've been working at consolidating it. Some of it we don't have. And we've had to go to extremes to get into certain systems. This software is cloud-based. It comes for a total of 3 users. And it will allow us to organize all that information, all of our contracts, contacts, network diagrams on how we have them laid out, which servers are assigned what addresses, passwords for them. Anything that we would think that we would need, we can put all in this in a secure location. Currently it'd be myself and Sean Bastian that would be in there. We are looking at a third person that would help with inputting all of that data into certain folders within this system. Basically, just, someone that's got some, extra time on their hands during the day that we can just assign to do this. It's from a company called Unitrends, which we've used. We just bought our backup system from them. The software is called IT Glue. Yeah, I know it's not that great a name. I don't know if I would have picked that or not, but it works. I've seen a demonstration of it. It's very nice. The first year will come in at a total of $2,897. And then years 2 and 3 are a cost of $2,148. And this would come out of my contracted services budget.
Fantastic. Vince, any questions?
Chris beat me to it. I was just getting ready to ask him where the funding was coming from.
I always give that information.
I know. I like to think that great minds think alike. So, all right. No, Bonnie, thank you very much. I have no other questions. And I will say it sounds like for a very brief period of time, Mr. Black, I was employed by the government myself, and the amount of information, the number of various passwords that we had to have for different computers, and then you have to change passwords all the time. It was a job in itself, Bonnie, just to try and keep track of all the information itself. So this
I had to
sounds
hunt
like it's
down
going to be so great.
hunt down an encryption password the other day, and literally it took me a week and a half to find it. And when I finally did look at it, I said, "You've got to be kidding me! This is what they're using."
Mhm.
So,
yeah.
The thing that I think I like about this is that having everything organized. How many times do we on council want to know information on a contract? The thing that gets you is the ones that we have contracts, you pay $1 a year. We don't even know if they're paying their $1 a year, that type of thing. To have everything that we can get into and see, I think is going to be fantastic for everybody.
well, this will be limited to the IT department.
But I can call you, Chris.
You can call me and I can find that information. Yes, that's what I'm saying though, is I'm not going to have contracts that might be with Streets and Parks or whomever. It's just, contracts that my department and Sean would have to deal with.
Which will be great because we've had to go through Janice and she's going through tons and tons of paperwork. And going through all paperwork is so difficult, especially when somebody won't even give you a time or month or year for something. And it just gets to be cumbersome. And to be able to do it on a computer, I think would be fantastic to have someone like you or Sean. You know, you don't want, like you said, you don't want people to have access to this, but at least we have people that will have access to help us get some of the information.
Yeah, and it'll be pretty much whatever I can gather up and get in there. And then as new stuff comes in, we'll be importing it right away. So my desk won't look like a fallen tree any longer. So I'm sure that at some point there might be some little bitty thing from 10 years ago that's not in there. But once we find it, it can be in there.
Which will be great, which will really be great. When are you going to start with this? How soon? Because that's gonna be cumbersome to get somebody to put the data in. That's the most challenging part, to have somebody going through everything and doing that.
Well, we'll have once this is agreed upon, we'll have an onboarding session where that's all set up for the city of Williamsport. And then it's just time during the day to put the stuff in.
Are you looking to see about hiring somebody to do this, or
No,
no? Okay.
no. I don't have that much money in my budget.
I didn't think so. That's why I was asking that, Chris, because but it's also, like I said, cumbersome for somebody to sit there and do all this information. And this is going to take quite a while. This is not going to happen overnight.
Literally, there is documents strewn across 5-6 different systems. And to get it all coalesced, make sure that there's no duplicates, that we're putting the latest, greatest of the information in there, as opposed to something that's 2 years old, that's been updated twice. That's going to take a little bit, but once it's there, it's at our fingertips, no matter where we're at. We can go on our phone and bring the information up.
Now, this is going to cost, let me read this. Cost for year one is $2,897. Years 2 and 3, $2,148. Now I can picture this going, you might need this more than 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it comes off, you buy it in 3-year chunks.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, because I know something like this. I mean, my husband owned a company that we had depended on a lot of the data entry, and it took time, a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and this is once the data is there, we own it no matter what. So even if we do sever contracts with them, after 3 years, we decide not to renew, we can pull all that data back off.
okay, fantastic. Let me throw this at you. Maybe you can get an intern.
Possibly. Don't know where I'd put this intern, but
We can find.
Are you offering me an intern?
Well, it's no salary. They're intern. They're going to learn stuff about a city.
Oh, see, I don't like unpaid people. Yeah.
But you're only doing data entry.
Yeah, and you're getting what you pay for.
Sometimes they could be good. Sometimes they could be good. I know. Okay. I see the negative right there. It's on your face. It's like, no, no, no.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I don't
All
like to babysit either. So.
Oh, okay. Understand. Okay. Vince, any other questions?
The only thing I would say is to anybody out there that may be skeptical of the potential decision to, pass this resolution for the purchase, is that when you try to quantify the amount of time that is spent looking through all the files to find this information, the investment is that this software is going to make the information so easily accessible that our resources, i.e. Mr. Black's services, the time that he gives us to the city and services, therefore, it'll certainly be worth it in the long run if you try to quantify exactly what we're looking to do. Just to let anybody know that may have some skepticism or concerns regarding the purchase of these kinds of things.
Thank you for that.
Let people know. You're very welcome. And I will say, to everyone that's watching and everyone here on the committee meeting, I hear people's concerns. I get them a lot, and they ask, why are we spending this money on these certain things? Well, for the amount of money that we invest in these kinds of things, it makes the access to the information that's needed so much easier, to where you yourself said you spent a week and a half looking for a pass key.
8 characters long.
Exactly. 8-character long pass key. How much time you spent on trying to find that information. So if somebody were to look and quantify and say, well, at Mr. Black's salary rate for a week and a half, depending on how many hours, I mean, and this is an occurrence that happens over and over and over and over again, and not just with you, sir, but Bonnie, to your point, to where with Mrs. Frank, looking for the same kinds of informations. This is going to make things so much easier, and there actually, I believe there would be certainly a net savings in the end, and an increase in efficiency. That way we make sure that we are being as responsible with the taxpayers' dollars to get the most work done with the amount of funding that we have available.
Well said, Vince. Well said.
Thank you, sir.
You're
So,
very welcome.
If there's nothing else to discuss, the only item left on the agenda is any related items. Does anyone have anything to bring to the table?
I have none.
And I have none, and Chris, don't think you do either. So I'd like a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
See you all Thursday. Take care now.
Take care.